Okay, everyone, here it is. Now, finally, a conversation that many of you have been asking for. A few weeks ago in a segment on this show, I suggested 5 things that some of the black community could use to fix some of our own problems. Dress appropriately, stop using the N-word so much, respect where you live, finish school and plan for a child, or stop having them out of wedlock. They were intended to promote self-empowerment, not a cure for racism, yet many people found them controversial. Among those people, Russell Simmons, a hip-hop mogul, penned an open letter with his criticism of my points and suggestions of his own. The next week, I wrote him back and sent an invitation to join me on this show. Well, he accepted, and this week we sat down to talk about race, hip-hop, and empowering our youth to be better. Here's our conversation. So we're here. Thank you for coming.
I'm happy to be here.
If I have my opinion about something, you have your opinion about something, we don't have to fight over it, right?
That's for sure.
And we can have a conversation. We can also disagree without being disagreeable, or we can just disagree, and it's fine.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that I don't like you or you don't like me, or we just disagree.
I'm a person who loves diversity. I love all kinds of thought process. I love all kinds of people. But when I sometimes, if a black person who is revered in the community says something that is conservative and I think is part of a mindset that is hurtful to the community, and that helping them is not helpful. But people will say, the problem with the black community is the kids got their ass crack showing. No, the problem with the black community is that they need education opportunities, they need job opportunities. These realities are the ones that we need to bring up when we're talking about uplifting our children.
Yes, that's true.
First.
But there's the,
on your
the
list of
problem,
5, that's first.
When you want to improve something, where's the first place you look?
Here. I look inside. And when I want to improve, and here's what I learned, that when, and I say this,
so, okay.
let me just say, let me close.
This is too good. This is too good.
Let me close.
So why didn't you write a letter that said, I understand what Don Lemon was saying. We need to take personal responsibility
I should have said that
first.
Then say,
here are the points where I disagree with you.
You have to say things in a way that they go in instead of bounce off. Of course, personal responsibility. I wouldn't include the cultural expression so much. Here's what I learned. I'm a vegan. I meditate twice a day. I have these kind of, but years ago, I took every single drug. I learned that morning meditation is greater than late night drinking. I learned this.
You had to do that yourself.
That's right. And the only way to move people towards, to give them another chance, give them the education, give them the opportunity, give them things that are cleaner, that are more inspired. And that is every day my job. And even if a rapper comes to me and he says things that you object to or that we both, I don't know if I get uncomfortable, but if something you don't like, my job is to give them a little more clean, a little bit more of an inspired idea.
Do you think that we are in a crisis?
We are in a crisis. The first thing
So then what do we do then?
Well, a few things.
So what do we do? The answer to that question and a whole lot more just. So Russell Simmons admits there is a crisis among our young people, especially African-American youth. How do we fix it? What do we do? Here's our conversation. Do you think that we are in a crisis?
We are in a crisis. The first thing
So then what do we do then?
Well, a few things. The greatest cause of the destruction of the fabric of the black community has been the prison industrial complex. The greatest cause. When I was a kid, my friends all went to jail for using drugs. This is 40 years now. They've been locking diseased people up, educating them in criminal behavior, and dumping them back into communities without hope or chance for employment. So people become part of this cycle of the prison system. And those people have brought, is why, if you say this prison culture, because all of these innocent but diseased people have been educated in violent criminal behavior and sent back to the community. There are many other things, you know, the lack of education opportunity, we need equal high-quality education. This is, for me, this is the kind of subject that we have to bring up and talk about. If we go to a school and there's no books and the teachers aren't teaching and the students are in the kind of situation, they don't ever have a gym class. They don't have an art class. Without art, there's no way to, you have to exercise the creative muscles. That's why I run an art foundation. That's why we raise millions of dollars for the arts. I think those are the kinds of things that we can do to change the condition that creates a poetry that makes you uncomfortable.
And there's no, I didn't say it makes me uncomfortable.
Well, it does.
It doesn't. No, it does not.
Not only you, but you know, some people in America are very uncomfortable about the reality expressed in the mouths of the rappers.
And don't mistake my passion for not that I don't like hip hop. That's not true. I think it's an art. I think people like Jay-Z and Kanye West are great artists. My thing is that kids are dying every single minute. And it's because, as you said, we had the responsibility, or people are being educated in prison culture. I think that helps perpetuate that education in prison culture. And I don't understand why you can't see that.
I do see that an expression of a reality, you know, maybe reaffirms it to some degree, but it is certainly important that artists tell our truth.
Do you think that hip-hop can be better? Rap and hip-hop can be better?
I think each individual artist has a responsibility to say what's on their hearts. And some of it is not pretty. So I think they're reflections of our reality, in some cases sad reality.
That's great, but do those artists understand the influence that they're having on the young people or the people who are listening to their songs?
I think most artists understand. And I don't believe that there's anything we can do to stop a poet from expressing the truth. The only thing we can do is change that truth, that if it's uncomfortable to us.
Do you think, just the question, do you think rap and hip-hop can be better?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I don't.
How so?
Each individual can be better, but as an overall culture, it has to express our sad reality. It's the way young people want to express themselves by bucking the system is something that I support. And some of the things they say that may make the adults uncomfortable, in most cases, I support it. Of course, there are lines. I'm not suggesting to you that there's no line. We hope that their expression can be one that uplifts people. But we also want them to be truthful to their art and say what's on their hearts. And if what's on their hearts sometimes is difficult to digest, then we have to look at that and see if that's a roadmap or something we can fix.
Is there a way of doing that without calling someone a bitch or a whore?
I think that some of those lyrics are very harsh, and some of the things they say are very sexist. Some of the things they say are very difficult to digest.
And ignorant.
And ignorant. I still can't tell a poet. You know, I cannot tell a poet. And those are not my lyrics or my songs, but I can't tell a poet what to say, and I will not.
Listen, as I said, I listen to hip-hop. There are certain things that I like. Don't think that I think all hip-hop is bad or that I'm against hip-hop. I just want people, especially
You want people to be better.
I want young black men, especially the people who are being killed. I want them to be better. I want the industry to be better. That's it.
We want
just people want me to be better as a journalist. Same thing for those guys.
Yeah.
What do we do from here?
We should have this discussion. We should start a process. But it's just discussion. Each individual has to go out and give what they can.
Right.
And what you've been doing, what you have been doing is giving what you can, and your intentions are good, and I respect you for it.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm holding you to that, Russell. We're going to talk more about this. Tomorrow on the show, you'll hear more of our conversation, including what Russell Simmons has to say about that controversial video, the, quote, Harriet Tubman sex tape. Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on CNN.